have invested more than $750,000 on working with the best teachers, coaches, mentors in the world. In 2023, right at the time of the fires here on Maui, I met JP and I realized right away there's something unique, powerful, and important about this guy. Not hype, not flashy, it's not even charisma. It's a presence, an authenticity, mastery. And in this video, I share with you the truth about JP, what I've learned in being up close with him. The evening of the fires starting here on Maui, I finished reading a book which was important for me about a man, Steve Hardison, with whom JP worked, who's become a mentor for me also. The book is called The Ultimate Coach. And I read that book because after twice building businesses and then sort of losing everything, come back to that, I had a new commitment to doing the work that was soul aligned for me, which was coaching. And I realized I want to learn it in a different way. I want to go deeper. I'd done a lot in training. I'd been successful as a coach. However, now I was going deeper. So the night I finished that book was the night the fires started. I sent Steve an email. I found there was a Facebook group, The Ultimate Coach. And in it, I saw just a tidbit, like a one-line thing where Steve said something to JP. JP's response was something Maui. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Looks like he's on Maui too. So I sent him a message, JP a message. He responded like half an hour later, kind message. The next morning, August 9, 2023, I wake up, there's an email from Steve, and then there's news that Maui has been devastated. Later that day, I was speaking with a friend of mine saying, how can we help? What can we do? There's a lot of chaos, I'm not sure what to do. And he said, well, I'm going to introduce you to somebody I know who I think is doing some good stuff here. And he sent me a message to, a three-way message to John Patrick Morgan. And then we were texting, and I was like, wait a minute, JP, John Patrick Morgan. I was like, okay. Within 12 hours, I've been introduced to the same guy twice, connected with him. And then I watched a video that JP had created about his work with Steve Hardison. And that video gave me the chills because I thought, in the video, John talks about his commitment to, I'll say it this way, his commitment to mastery, his commitment to getting the most out of his work with Steve Hardison, his commitment to his own growth and service and love in the world, and how far he went in order to realize that and get it. And what I recognized in that, I was like, that's my brother right there. I think I'm over the top with my level of study and commitment toward mastery. I think he might go further. In any case, it struck me. Sometime later, we actually started working together. I went to a retreat that JP was putting on here on Maui. And when I wanted to work with him, what it was about for me, what I thought it was about for me was I want to make more money. Like I'd done okay as a coach, but not to the level I'd wanted to. And I looked to JP and it looked to me like, man, he's crushing it. He's doing really well. And so I projected a level of success, my own greatness onto him. And he did what any good teacher, mentor does, what we all do, which is he held that. He allowed me to do that. And that's what we do. We project until we don't need to anymore, until we can take back the projections. In my work with JP, I did transform my business. I did make more money. Those weren't the most important things though. Two things happened at that very first retreat that were life-changing for me. One, such a minor thing in one way, yet has changed the trajectory of my life. And that is, I didn't bring my computer. I was like, I'm really just going to immerse myself. At the opening, JP gave us all a notebook. And so I started writing by hand. Now I've been a writer and an author all my life. I've kept a journal for decades. And the last 20-something years has been by computer. Something clicked for me during that retreat where I started writing by hand. And y'all, since then, I have filled literally dozens of notebooks writing by hand. And while I still love coaching and teaching, I have come into a level of ownership and identification with the truth of who I am, my dharma, my destiny, my ikigai as an author, that I trace right back to that moment of writing by hand again. It started unlocking something in me. Speaking of unlocking, the other thing that happened during that retreat that I share with you is a conversation with JP where I was processing the fact that I had twice built up successful businesses and lost them and lost all the money with it and felt ashamed about that. And the shame was really mostly at the time about the impact on my daughter. We'd had this very abundant life for 10 years in Bali and then lost everything, quote, lost everything. And then kind of happened again. And what I was saying was, I felt so bad for the impact on her. And JP asked me a question, which was not a brilliant question, not a shocking question. It was, do you see how there's been some benefit for her? Something like that. And I say something like that because the question isn't really what was important. I had thought about that before. It's a basic question. And I'd answered it. And I'd told people about it. However, what was different, really get this, because this is the key, a huge key to what's different about JP. What was different, his presence, his depth of presence with me, of holding the energy of the field, the container, the love that was in it. And that allowed my response, my inquiry into that to go deeper than my head, into my heart and into my body. And sobs came out. Something powerful shifted for me in that moment because of who he is, because of his presence. Okay, the word lost that I have used a couple times in this conversation. I lived for almost a decade from a perspective of my past where I lost everything. Home and car and money and business and country. Doing some private coaching with JP last year, he asked me another question, which was, did you actually lose that stuff? Did you give it away? Was there something else that you valued more? And of course there was. In that specific situation with Bali, I valued my safety, my daughter's safety. And that's why I chose to give those things away. And again, small, just a moment, just a click, yet it changed my orientation. Last year, my daughter turned 18. She said, "Papa, I'm ready to soar into the world." I said, "Cool, me too." And that sparked for me the opportunity to let go, give away all of my belongings. And I love that in the evolution of our relationship, JP and I, we got to be friends. I still learn from him. We still work together. And when my giving away process led me to my most beloved sauna, I thought, you know what? JP is who I would love to have this. Some months later, when I gave things away to another level and it was time for our beloved Kiki, the Wonder Poodle, to have a new steward, it happened to become perfect for John and his wife Kalpna and their boys. And so now it's evolved. He allowed me to project my greatness onto him, and he supported me and loved me in our professional relationship and in our friendship so I could take it back. So who is JP? What's the truth about him? I don't know. You find out for yourself. I can tell you the truth of my experience, that there is a depth, an honesty, an authenticity, a commitment to mastery, and a commitment to service, to making the world a better place that, in my experience, is rare, beautiful, important. Thank you, JP. Thanks for watching, y'all. Aloha.